Hello and welcome to the Women's Network. I'm Elke and I'm your host. Today I can promise you a terrific show. It's going to be a lot of fun, so don't turn off the TV, don't channel surf, just stay with us. Because we'll be talking about comedy. And with that in mind, I invited three terrific women. I met them all at the same time and they were so impressive, I thought I have to have them on my show. I saw them at a local comedy store and it was so much fun that I said, this is it. So let me introduce you to my comedians. There is Marlene. Marlene, it's so nice to have you here.
Okay, I'm very happy to be here.
Marlene,
I mean, you've made a very smart decision to get us on this show.
No, that's what I thought. When I saw you on stage, I thought, my God, this woman is incredible.
Yes.
Marlene, tell the audience just a little bit about your background, or how did you start out in comedy?
So I tell you, with me, I think I've sort of gotten pushed into it, more or less, you know? I think I've been a comedian naturally, without being on stage, until somebody says, quite a few people at parties saying, Marlene, you know, you should be doing stand-up comedy. I said, really? Oh yeah, but you know, I never really had enough guts. And then I thought about it, and I thought, material, actually, I should have enough. I lived long enough. So it means you have a lot of material, because I believe in comedy when you talk about things out of your life, you know? And so I decided, well, you gotta have names. And me having an accent, so it's not more than simpler saying, okay, comedy with an accent. And actually, La Mère is part of it, who also talked me into it. We met at a party at some friend's home. She said, God, you know, you're funny. She said, you're a natural. You know, I think I should make an appointment for you at the comedy store. And I said, sure, yeah, okay. And we did it.
Great.
And I had a ball, and I got to meet Hilda, who I've been a fan of for a long time. You know, Hilda, Vincent. Those are all my fans, believe me. But I'm having a good time, you know.
Well, I tell you, I wish I'd known you before, because I should have invited you to some of my parties. They were pretty dull. So.
Yes, yeah. Well, you know, I like my party.
With that, my next guest is Hilda. Hilda, so nice to have you here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
It's wonderful talking to an Elke, because it's so, everyone thinks I'm German. Hilda.
Yeah, that's right.
That's my real name, you know.
Very good.
Well, most comics change their names. I changed the last one. That's how you could always know. When I started as an actress doing Shakespeare, and you know, when you do Shakespeare in the park, Central Park, there's a lot of waiting in Shakespeare, and I had the little parts, and I'd run on with a costume and run off. I mean, just little. So what happened is a lot of waiting around, and I would always tell about stories of how I looked for work, temp agencies and everything, and everyone was just dying laughing, you know. And one of the directors said, really, Hilda, you should do comedy. What are you carrying on with this serious stuff? And that's kind of a light went on. And at the same time, I thought that this would make me independent, and I would be able to start writing this stuff. Little did I know how hard it was, and start writing the stuff and doing it, and I wouldn't have to worry about, are you the right type kind of thing. But the irony is, it's come down to that right now. A lot of, especially women, are cast according to type in comedy, you know. So
from
you never
Shakespeare
know.
to comedy,
that's
right. Quite a stretch.
Yeah. Well,
so
I also realized that, you know, originally I come from Brooklyn. I said, what am I doing here reading this? I don't understand this. I kept looking in the back all the time, you know, the notes, and I'm not happy doing this. This whole cliche that they say you won't be an actress till you get through Shakespeare. No, I don't believe that at all. You can be very good and not do Shakespeare.
You know what I remember when I first saw you? You have that certain attitude.
Of what?
Just when you say I'm from Brooklyn, I mean, that makes me laugh somehow, the way you do it. You know, like you see people and you look at them and you start laughing.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything.
No, but so many comics do come from Brooklyn. You know, to survive, you have to have humor. Everyone sounds funny in Brooklyn. You know, that's what I'm here. It's true, everyone sounds funny.
All right, let's talk more about that later. And another great comedian is Lamea. Since you're so close, let me say hello.
Hi. Oh, I get a hands-on treatment. I love that. Thank you for the touch, for reaching out.
Lamea, you were absolutely fabulous on stage too. I'm already in form. Okay, let's hear a little bit about your background.
Do you have 5 hours? Well, basically, I was a child. I was this kid. I had some parents, and I lived in the Valley. And my parents were show people. My father is an actor. In fact, he's the actor that plays Colonel Sanders, but we won't. He just eats white meat, the whole thing. And my mother's a dancer. She's in the Palm Springs Follies. You have to be at least 60 to get into it, and she's dancing and doing all kinds of wonderful splits and kicks. And you know, it's
I saw it. It's terrific.
it goes on, and they all have the hips and the whole thing, and they're all broken. And so the thing is that I'm a hairdresser, actually. I work in West Hollywood, and
there are a lot of comedians.
there's a lot of comedians, and you have to have a sense of humor to do hair,
Right,
and it's in my
exactly.
blood. I've also acted like Hilda and stuff. I started out as an actress, but you know, my father wanted me to learn to do something or marry a rich man, but he's by the looks of my table manners, I should, you know, learn to do something, so I did. And basically, I'd make these people laugh while I was cutting their hair, you know, and because I could care less about their hair. And I thought to myself, you know, the haircuts are free, they're just paying for the entertainment. They said, you know, you should go do comedy, and I need the attention. So I got up at an open mic kind of a situation. It wasn't really, it was Rhonda Shear. She'd see me in an improv class. She said, oh, you should do stand-up. I said, I don't want to, I do characters. And she said, no, come by the Laugh Factory. So I came by the Laugh Factory, and I said, well, don't put me up, I'll watch you. So she says, oh, I have a new comedian that's coming up, and the ham that I am, I get up on stage, and thank God I killed.
So
But
you had no stage fright or
no, I
any-
didn't, because I just had to be on a stage. And so I did really well. And then I decided, well, you know, maybe this is something I wanted to pursue. So, and also one more thing is that when something happens to me, I'll go to the store, there's a Russian woman there, then I become the Russian woman. And I'm trying to tell somebody a story, or I go someplace else, and there's an English person there, and as I'm telling the story, people are laughing, and there's a tragedy going on in my life. So I decided, you know, why don't I make stories and just do comedy?
Well, a lot of comedy is out of, like what you said, or Marlene, from your life or out of life, or you know, that type of thing. But like your very first time, like what Lamea just said, she went on stage and no stage fright. I mean, what about?
I don't know how you managed that. My heart was down here when I got on stage the first time. I didn't show it, but my butterflies like crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so nervous.
And you,
but it
did
took
you
me a
have any
minute or
acting
two. But people
background?
say to me later on, you know, you are very natural, and you're like, you've done it before. I said, you have no idea how it looked inside, my darling. You know, pretending.
So does that go away? Over?
Yeah, well, it never goes.
It's beginner's luck a lot of times.
Beginner's luck.
It comes and goes.
You know what's more common? The first time is great. The second time, no, because you see, the second time you're not going on adrenaline. You already know what's in store for you. So it's not, but the real thing is if you're going to keep going at it, you better know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to know. Comedy is very complicated. It looks very easy, but
It's
it's
a serious
not.
business.
Very
Comedy is a serious
It's very
business.
complicated.
Well, let's talk-
even more than songwriting. I've spoken to songwriters, and they told me that.
She's got
Let's
that
talk
minute.
about the techniques about comedy in just a little while. I just got a sign that we
Oh, sure.
are ready to show a clip. And I
Okay.
know the first clip we will see is a clip by Lamea. So tell us a little bit about the clip.
This is a clip of me at Luna Park, and I've done this material on Comedy Central's Make Me Laugh and other national television shows, and I've played all over at the Comedy Store, and I've gone on the road, and I'm known for this material that I do, and it's a night that I did a show. I opened for Carolina Rea, who's on Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and Kathleen Mannequin were there.
Okay. Well, we are ready. If the crew is ready.
You know, and share. You know, I mean, I'm watching so much TV now because I have no life. You know, thank you. You know, she was doing the Equal commercial, and then he took it away from her, you know, and I gave it to Tony Bennett. And I think because she's had so much plastic surgery, she can no longer say the word equal. E channel, and they had this new show called Model. You guys know this new show? And they had my favorite model on it, that little skinny one, Kate Moss. Hello, I'm Kate Moss. I'm really happy I finally got to my original birthright. People ask me what it's like to be a model. It's hard to be a model. Walking's hard. You've got to remember left, right, not left, right. You know, it's hard. And when you're on the runway, you've got to remember to turn around. One time I was on the runway in Paris and I forgot to turn around and I was lost for a week. It's hard, you know. It's hard. So I was reading in the LAPD that I was reading the LAPD. What was I doing there? I was reading in the newspaper that they have lowered the height down to the police officer, the LAPD requirement to under 5 feet. Okay, and it was actually written because size has nothing to do with performance. Oh no, these guys can drive a fast car, they can shoot a gun, but they just can't go on Space Mountain. We represent the LAPD. Okay, here you go, people. Gilligan. Thank you, God bless you all.
Terrific little piece.
I thought
God.
so too. Thanks.
Let me, before we started, now I really have to see you again because, like I said, every time I see you, I just really, I'm drooling because it's so much fun.
Such a fan.
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
it's of all of you. I mean,
But you're
you
wonderful.
three are terrific. I must say. You
But the
three
thing that I
are-
love about you is that you love to come to these performances and
Right.
hear
I
the same
know,
thing
I
over and over
I
again.
become a comedy
Because
junkie.
everyone is different.
It's very
That's a
great.
That's
wonderful
wonderful.
thing.
All
do that.
three of you are
Yeah.
different. Like when I see you, I just start laughing.
It's
Lamere has
wonderful.
all this, and
But you
Marlene
know,
does her
the very
entertainment.
thing we were talking about more men than women is just what women like you, Elke, should promote. In other words, the management won't. The people who own the clubs won't, apparently.
Why
So
is
the
that?
audience
What's-
should demand, you know, there's more than 50% is women in the audience, even more. I mean, like Rachel's room up in the belly room on Friday, a lot of women of them, it looks like more than women than men in the audience. And they don't demand, of course, Rachel's room is all women comedians, but they don't demand that more women be presented because it's so obvious when you go in to see a show, there's maybe 15 men, 1 woman. That's
Well,
what
at
it
the
is.
telethon, it was like that. Remember, they had all those women, and they had they had all those men and
That's
2
right.
women.
And that's not going to change if the audience, the women in the audience don't demand it. And they could have, not even demand it, all they have to do is say to the owner of the room is something, why don't you have more women?
Right.
We want to
Now
see
tell
more
me
women.
one thing. Why is it? I mean, what is the difference
Because
between
you know what
the
it
women
is?
don't come off?
It's essentially a man's industry. It's only in
Okay.
the 80s, the middle 80s, I would say, that it became women. And that's what you're seeing now. You're seeing an Ellen DeGeneres,
Roseanne.
who's more man. Dr. mentioned her first. She's more a man than a woman. I mean, you know, she's declared
And
that.
you
But
see
the point-
Roseanne broke through
Roseanne,
and
okay,
Rosie
okay.
O'Donnell. Those,
That's right. But these were women that came up then, and they're in the series, and they're doing very well, you know. And then it stopped. I would say 1990, it stopped again. And more men, because it was essentially a man's, you never saw women.
No,
I mean, the first woman that we know is Phyllis Diller. And then after, there was someone before that, but Phyllis Diller, then
Toady Fields.
And Toady Fields,
but
and
they
then
were-
Joan Rivers.
But I'll say this though, I know it appears to be that way, but I you know, do all these comedy clubs, and you know, sometimes I'll go to work out some stuff in an open mic. I don't go there anymore, but you know, if I have to. But there are a lot of women. But I think what happens is they get frustrated and they drop out.
They never get to that second level.
Okay, hold on a second. What they do is they get to a point and they maybe get to the third or fourth year. And I feel, this is just my take on it, that it's talent but time, and it's more time than talent, because you can keep, the more you do it, the better you get. It's the learn by doing method. It's not, oh, I'm so talented, I'm going to be great. Like these girls that come up to me, they go, I've only done stand-up once, and I've got a manager, an agent, and pilot, a series, and everything. I'm so, what are you doing? God, you've done it for so long. I've only done it for 4 years. They go, oh God, that's so long. It's like, no, it's not. You start kicking in between your fourth, fifth, and sixth year. But I think what happens is these women, because something's not happening, they pull out where the guys have more of camaraderie. Okay,
That's
and the
true.
women
Guys
are very,
help each other.
you know, it's like, you know, some
So
of them
it's in
are.
comedy the same way
No,
as
there's
it is
another
in real
reason
life,
too,
right?
Lemire. What happens is, yeah, you could be a woman and get in open mics. You could at that level. But just see what's happening at the Improv, places where agents come and see women. There are very few women there in relation to men. And in the Comedy Store too, there's except Rachel's room up there, have in relation to men. It's not that
So it's
women aren't
actually-
as good or funny, but they have to experience.
Well, I also think that sometimes women too. I mean, I'm not on anyone's side, but some of them, they come off kind of angry maybe because of that.
Oh,
you know what I
honey,
mean?
You should be on our side. You should
I know I'm
not
on
be
your
for the
side.
men.
I'm for
Because-
everyone. I'm equal
because there's
opportunity.
No, you.
I love everyone.
But no, you
Why
don't.
can't I love everyone?
Well, loving everyone you can, but that has
Why
nothing
can't
to
I love men
no,
and
listen,
women?
I love
you.
men. I love men. But I'm talking about business now, and I'm talking about stand-up comedy, which has nothing to do with that. It has to do with what's
But
happening.
then you know what, these women, I just got to say this, and I love them. Just put on, you know, some testicles and let's go.
No, that's not the answer at all.
No, have
Women
some
are just
gumption.
as funny as guys.
They are very funny.
Just as funny
And
as guys,
sometimes
but they
funnier.
need it, yeah, but they should be, because women are more emotional, and that's what makes people
And they have
laugh.
a lot, and they also have monthly problems. You know, they have a lot to talk about. Women.
That I don't think is the best subject in the world. But
No, but
now
I'm
we're
just saying.
finding out that men have menopause too. So we're really
No.
equal. I thought you should know that. I thought you should know that because you want to be equal. But the point is that the fact is that there are 15 guys to every one woman at the Improv and the
So
Comedy Store and the Factory.
it's up
That's
to-
the higher level.
But then
And they
it's up
don't
to-
allow women to get onto that higher level. You see one or two,
Wait,
but
wait,
that's it.
You, once you have your in there, then it's really up to you to.
But you can't get in.
Of course,
Because-
of course, everybody would love to get into television, sitcom. And look at, you have a lot of women in there now.
Yeah, but I'm
Right.
trying
Quite
to
a
say the
few.
reason you have so
Quite
many
a few
is because
women.
in the 80s there were more women comics.
And they all started on stage, I think.
But there were more women comics. That's why you have more. And also, there's another thing. In sitcoms, there are women funny actresses, not necessarily comedians. So let's get that
They
clear.
get their lines
Yeah.
written and that's it.
That's right.
Yeah.
The big difference in a stand-up comic who delivers lines a certain way and a comedian actress who does. Big
Well,
difference.
and then you see like Roseanne, for instance. I mean, she was the stand-up comedian. Then she had her lines written, and now I understand she goes back and forth like.
And she's not. She admitted herself on several interview
have to
shows
go
that she
back.
cannot do stand-up anymore. They don't
Really?
accept her. No, because she can't be talking about a sloppy woman who
When
neglects
she's a
her.
millionaire. you know.
Exactly.
But I will say I'm grateful for Roseanne because she opened the doors for all of us. And I think that I want to encourage female comics to get out there, get past that 3-year mark or whatever. And even though there's a lot of rejection, just keep going at it and keep doing it. And as long as you're true to yourself and you talk about things that are about yourself, I believe that you can push forward. But she's absolutely right. If you go to the Improv, Wendy Liebman, what's her name? I mean, there's just a few
It's a
that are
fact.
there.
I'm not.
Okay.
I mean,
You know, you always encouraged
Let's
me until
hold
you
on
used
1 minute.
Yeah.
Marlene,
Yeah.
your clip is coming up.
I'm sorry
So,
to hear that. Nobody's coming up, darling.
You're rolling. So
You know which one? I have no idea. So I cannot
Well-
explain anything.
Oh, you're going to act like one of those actresses on TV, like, oh, is
Darling,
there
I
a clip?
have no idea.
okay,
darling.
well then.
Oh, you have no idea of the 2
then
minutes.
I will tell
I don't
the
know what she
audience.
picked out.
She knows.
We have a little bit of Marlene's performance. She is quite an entertainer, and what I did, I took some of the shorter pieces, so we will see
So I told you, I'm
different
shorter.
sides of
The shorter
Marlene.
pieces.
Okay, we are ready,
Okay.
but it's true, I think.
You know, we in Europe, we always loved younger men, and we never talked about it. But in this country, they talk too much about it. Well, my darling, I always loved younger men. Only one thing I don't like, when they come to you and say, "Hey lady, I love an older woman." I said, "Darling, you just go and find yourself one," you know? You know, I don't like to hear, darling, but we don't talk about it. I'm old enough to know what I want and young enough to know how to get it, darling. And I get it, believe me. You know, since I'm in this country, it's been quite a few years, and people always ask me, "You have an accent?" I said, "Yes, darling." But you know what? I never had an accent till I came to this country. And so I tell them I'm from Germany, and you know, it never fails. The next question is, "Oh yeah? What part?" I said, "What do you mean, what part? All of me." Well, maybe some parts made it USA, but that's a different story, darling. Totally different story. How you doing, darling? You know, I have furnitures who look like your outfit. You come to my house and my dining chairs are covered with your material, darling. If you would be sitting on it, I wouldn't even see you. Of course, then I came back to America, and one thing I hate is going to the airports and going to all the customs, and they go through all your luggage, you know, and they pick this up and look at it and look at it. And there's one guy, he goes through my stuff and looks at me, and he says to me, "How long have you been abroad?" I said, "I beg your pardon." None of your business, darling. Just finish this stuff and get me out of here. Hello, David. Nice to see you. I never knew you had such beautiful hands, darling. Did you ever photograph them? You should, really. Get some copies made, get to an agent, and I bet you they give you a lot of hand jobs. Auf Wiedersehen, Dankeschön. Arrivederci.
Well, Marlene, a great performance.
Did
as
you like
always,
it?
As always. You're
I
quite...
adored it.
Well, you know, I feel I'm a little bit different than all the Americans because there are not that many. There are not that many European.
No,
I mean there are not that many European comedians, and
They aren't here.
I mean they should get a chance also to be seen and to be heard. And see, from my point of view, how I see things coming to this country. It's very different than you will see it or you see it, you know, when you come from a different country. Like, for instance, you know, this short little thing, I don't know if you had it on the show or not. Like I told you, I escaped from East Germany when I was very young, 17, 18. I escaped from the Russians. And now I live in West Hollywood, and what do you think? I'm surrounded with again the Russians. So I think this is very funny, you know. It wasn't funny at the time, but now when you look back to it, to me that's funny. You escape from something, and here you are again. And of course, it's a different situation, but I use those things, and
So
it's fun to
now-
do it, you know. From Russia with love, darling. And of course, I do also a little bit imitations of Marlene Dietrich, which I love.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
saw
we
you
have.
do that. That's,
Of course, I don't have a tape, but I put those feathers around me and carry on, darling. Falling
like a
in love
cabaret
again,
act you do.
never wanted to. So I have a good time with that. When I
you
do
could
little other
probably-
imitations, you know.
I should have told the director
did a
you
half
should have
hour.
shown.
Yes,
She just did, we got,
I love it.
Okay, well, we are close to the end, unfortunately.
You're kidding.
But
You
yeah,
just
it
got
goes-
here.
Okay, I'm gonna.
We are just
invite
warming-
you
we're
to
just
my
warming
next
up.
party. I'm gonna get a different
Invite me, I need a
hairdresser.
showcase.
I'm gonna go
No,
to
but
a
no, you wanted to encourage. I would just like to say this: is that I would love to encourage females that think they're funny, and even if they're not that funny, they can be funny. And you know, we do a show, all of us, at Rachel Lovey's room upstairs in the ballet room, and there's all female comics up there. You know, every kind of woman you can go. You know, every age, every you know, custom,
Every
everything,
size,
every size, every
size.
shape.
Of
You know,
course,
every type
darling.
of comedy, and that's what's such a wonderful thing is that if you're unique, which you are, you're an individual. Go out there. It's time. Just keep getting
right.
up and just do it. And I encourage it. And so what if it's a man's world? We can, if we just keep going, we can overcome.
Well, I don't want to encourage any more females. We have enough. I don't want to encourage
Oh, no,
any
we don't
more.
want to encourage
No,
it.
no. Listen, it's so tough that I think they should go into something else. Really, I do. There's so many things women can do now. You don't have to be a comedian.
You
don't have to be. You can use your sense of humor all the time. You don't have to use it in front of people. I
But
really
maybe
don't
they
think
have to.
it's the greatest thing in the world at all. I mean, I do. I don't think it's. And I think we have enough. And I'll tell you something. If someone
Why,
wants
you
to be a
don't want
comic,
competition?
No, not competition, because anyone starting is not going to compete with me now. But the point is that if anyone really wants to be a comic, what I say doesn't matter. It doesn't
Marlene.
matter. They'll be it anyway, won't they?
What do you
You know,
think? I
of
mean,
course.
What I think?
Yeah.
Well, I think the ones we have here right now, and if they're good, they should get a television show, naturally. We should get a TV show. That's what I'm all for.
That's what we all want.
That's
Okay,
what we
well,
want. Oh,
let's,
you look good with your
let's
hair
hope
up,
so,
darling.
because
She's doing a
I-
hair commercial. Look at that. How wonderful.
I need.
I would say she wants
I
a
need
little
new
attention, don't
material
you?
for
Oh,
a
I need
show,
it.
so I want to see you.
Yes, you will.
You know.
Oh,
on,
sure. This way you can just put on the television. You don't have to come and see it.
Exactly.
Okay, well, this was terrific. We got we got an idea. I think we do
was
need more women
wonderful.
in comedy.
we got an idea that we
should
I don't
have
think
a
so.
course.
We have enough.
First of
Just keep
all,
us busy.
I wanna-
That's
Good. I encouraged them already. They know what to
Yes,
do.
yes.
Oh, okay.
No, we don't need any more.
All right. I
We
want to
don't need
thank
any
you all for coming and being terrific guests. I could hardly
Thank
get a
you.
word in,
Thank
but
you.
What a wonderful host you are.
You
I'm glad I
great.
need some encouragement too. Okay.
That's true. We forget
And I
about the
love that
hostess.
accent that you chose for today. It's very good.
We
wanna
forget
say-
about the hostess.
Yeah.
No, you're great.
Okay, I'm going to do my comedy act in about a year
So we have
from
to
now when
say
I
auf
get it all
Wiedersehen to
together.
you.
That's what
Wiedersehen.
you're preparing for.
That's what
Yes.
it
I
is.
knew it.
Okay, but again, I want to thank all of you, and let's hope we do it again once you have your
Okay.
television series. To my audience,
okay,
I want to say thank you for watching us. I thought this was a terrific show, terrific guests, Hilda and Marlene.
see what it
I
looks
hope
like
they
on
will
TV.
be back with us soon.
She's not passing judgment.
No.
I can't get a word in.
Auf Wiedersehen, danke schön.
And until we see you again, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.